Hello students, Standard 6. In chapter number 5, Understanding Elementary Shapes. In the beginning we learn about the different methods of comparison of the line segment. In which the first method was comparing by observation, then comparison by tracing, and then using a ruler, and then using a divider. Now going to start the exercise 5.1. Question 1 is that what is the disadvantage in comparing line segments by mere observation? So we learn about the first method, observation, comparing by observation, in which we saw that when we use the comparison method, it is only be perfect when the length of the line segments are much different. Mean they have a big difference in the length. Then if it is a big line segment, small line segment, easily we can compare by mere observation. But when two line segments have a minor difference, means they have almost same length, then it will be a very difficult to decide that which line segment will be greater or which will be smaller. So in this situation, we cannot use this method because there can be error there. We cannot have perfect decision. You can randomly take it, but then it is not going to be right always. So that is the disadvantage, that we cannot take proper decision. So it is not the perfect or proper method for comparison. Second question is that why is it better to use a divider than a ruler while measuring the length of a line segment? Now when we learn about it in the last section, that when we use the ruler to measure the line segment, sometimes it may occur the positioning error because of the error in positioning of the eye. As we saw that positioning of the eye must be exactly vertical on the scale or on that point of which we have to read the measurement. So due to positioning error, it can make an error in measuring only using the ruler. And sometimes the thickness of ruler also can misguide you. And therefore, it is very, very better that you can use the divider. So there is less chances of getting a wrong measurement. Question number 3 is that draw a line segment, say line segment AB. Take any point C lying in between A and B. Measure the lengths of AB, BC and AC and verify is AB is equal to AC plus CB. That we have to check. So now what we have to do? We have to draw a line segment AB and then put a point C in between somewhere. Now here I draw a line segment AB and that is of the length 10 centimeter. Now I put a point C in between them, and I measure that AC is equal to say 4 centimeter, and I measured CB, that came 6 centimeter. Now AC plus CB is 4 plus 6 is 10, and AB is also 10. So from that observation we can see that AB is equal to AC plus CB. Now question number 4. Given that if A, B, C are 3 points on a line such that AB equals 5 centimeter, BC is equal to 3 centimeter and AC is equal to 8 centimeter, which one of them lies between the other two? So we don't know that which point, either A or B or C, which one of them is in the middle of the other two. So what will we do? We will find the distance and then add them. Distance are given, then AB is equal to 5 centimeter, BC is equal to 3 centimeter and AC is equal to 8 centimeter. Now you observe, then you will see that 5 plus 3 will becomes 8. It means that AB plus BC becomes as AC. So now if you draw like that, then AC is the bigger, so obviously B must be in the middle. Then and then only that we add this plus that, will give you the whole amount. Means 5 plus 3 will give you 8. It means that obviously we can definitely say that the point B lies between the other two, means between the points A and C. So whenever this type of situation occurs that 3 measurements are given, then what we have to do? We have to check that sum of which two measures is equal to the other one. Then that is the line segment. So AC will be like that and B will be in the middle of that other two. Now question number 5 says that verify that whether D is the midpoint of AG. Now midpoint, it means that which is exactly in the middle. Means it must be here such that these two distances must be equal. Means if AD and DG will be equal, then we can say that the D is the midpoint of AG. Here AD, what is AD? AD is equal to, you know that A has 1, it is not started from 0. So we cannot directly write down. So AD is equal to 4 minus 1 and that is 3. And DG is here 7 minus 4. So length of DG is 3. So you can see that both the distance are equal. And AG, the whole AG is 7 minus 1, 6. So the distance from the both point A and G to the point D is the same. That is a 3 and 3. So here D is at the same distance from A and G. So we can say that D is the midpoint of AG. Now 6th question. If B is the midpoint of line segment AC and C is the midpoint of line segment BD, where A, B, C and D lie on a straight line, say why AB is equal to CD. So here in this situation, given that all of them are lying on the same line, on a straight line, and also given that B is the midpoint of AC, means it is at the equal distance from A and C. Similarly, given that C is the midpoint of BD, means it is equidistant from point B and point D. So we have to check that how it is AB is equal to CD. So look here, given that B is the midpoint of AC, so obviously it will lie between A and C, and therefore the value of measurement of AB and measure of BC will be equal because it is at the midpoint. So we can write down AB is equal to BC. We give that as the result number 1 because we are going to use that result later on. Now also given in the second part that C is the midpoint of BD. So obviously C will lie between B and D and having the same distance. So we can write down BC is equal to CD. Then we will give you result number 2. Now if you observe result number 1 and result number 2, here you can see that AB is equal to BC. But here BC is equal to CD. It means that AB is equal to BC is equal to CD. So we can directly write down that from 1 and 2, AB is equal to CD because this BC are equal. BC is equal to CD also, BC is equal to AB also. It means that value of AB and CD are also equal. So we can write down like that AB is equal to CD. Now question 7, it shows that we have to draw the 5 triangles and then find the measure of all the 3 sides and check. It will be like the sum of the measure of 2 sides will be always greater than the third side. That we have to check. So here I write down the note also. That one you will do the homework, and this is only for the knowledge which will be useful in the future. That in a triangle the sum of measures of any 2 sides is always greater than the measure of the third side. It means that if you draw any triangle ABC, and if you find the measure of those 2 AB and BC, and you add them, AB plus BC will be always greater than the third side. Similarly, BC plus AC will be greater than AB, and AC plus AB will be always greater than BC for any type of triangle. Now we have to get an idea of right angles and straight angle. We know that there are main 4 directions. There are north, south, east and west. Now consider that you are facing toward north and you have to turn clockwise direction and turn towards east. Look here, if you are facing toward north and then clockwise you turn towards east, so that you are facing towards east. So you can see that your turn will be a right angle turn. Here it makes a 90-degree angle. So you are moving a right angle now, so that you are facing toward the east direction. But if you moved, suppose you didn't move clockwise, but if you move anti-clockwise, same towards west, there is also right angle, but you moved anti-clockwise, so you moved that side, so you will be facing toward the west direction. There is also a right angle, so whenever we move from north to east or from north to west, or similarly if you move from east to south or south to west also, you know that a 90-degree angle is made. So here you are moving a right angle. Now consider these figures here, that you are facing towards north, and as this situation you are turning clockwise a right angle, one right angle, then you will be facing towards east. Now from east, again you move clockwise, then you will come to the south direction. So here you move one right angle, then another right angle. So you are moving two right angles here. Right? So if you are facing north and turn a right angle clockwise, you will face towards east. And again you turn a right angle clockwise, you will face towards the south. So here you are moving, as I told you, there are two right angle turns. So then the turn from north to south is by two right angles. And the turn from the two right angles is called a straight angle. It means that here from north, we know that it is east, west, south. So from north to south, that angle making, that is your straight angle. That is your straight angle. So it means that when you move two times right angles, then it will become your straight angle. Similarly, suppose you are facing towards east. You are facing towards east now. And if you move two right angles clockwise direction, then which direction will you be facing? So you are starting one right angle, two right angles. So you will facing towards the, here also you can see that the angle made is known as the straight angle. So whenever we move, we turn either clockwise or anti-clockwise. If you move from anti-clockwise also, same thing. Then it is known as two right angles, then it is known as a straight angles. Now listen, if I start facing towards north, I move a straight angle, then which side I will be facing? Towards south. And if from south again anti-clockwise, clockwise, I will move another straight angle. Where will I come back? What will be my final direction towards? It will be towards the original position, means towards north again, because I am starting from here, one straight angle, another straight angle. So I will be back in my original position. And about that we will learn in the next, that what is that angle is called. So here we are going to finish today's session, and it will be followed by PDF file. You have to write down, and if any confusion, there is the comment box for you. Thank you very much.